So yeah, the light is always there for you, and that was really important to write down to myself. That like it's no matter how bad it gets, if I just sit there and wait long enough, and I mean I'm either gonna die or I'm gonna get happy. Like there's no other option. Um, uh, then 90% of my anxiety is physically induced, and that that's pretty much what I just read to you here. But that helped a lot to know that it really is just a physical thing. If I can just make my inflammation and make my tension and stress go down, I feel fine. I feel like a regular person. I want to go do things. I want to go talk to people. I want to go outside and wash my car. I want to go skate. You know what I'm saying? I want to sit here and make a video for you. I want to write, which we're about to get into. Just wait. Also, I belong everywhere I go. That was really important. Because I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. But fuck that. I belong everywhere I go, especially as somebody who's grown up on every fucking coast. Like I rep everywhere, nigga. I'm from everywhere. I grew up in Houston. I grew up in fucking Florida. I grew up in fucking Oregon, and I've lived in almost like every place for at least a few months since then. Like in between then rather. Like I fucking belong everywhere. So fuck this feeling of like I don't belong. At least in America. You know what I'm saying? Like I fucking throw up every sign, nigga. I'm from everywhere, nigga. Like I am from I belong everywhere. But I don't just mean that like in that sense though. Like it's not like I've always had this problem with like I hope that this house treats me well, or I hope this is the house that like that my anxiety will be the best in, or I hope that like this town is right for me. But the fact is that's up for me to decide. You know what I'm saying? That's my decision. If this is where I want to live, if this valley where I grew up as a kid is where I want to be, then so be it. And the fact is it is. This is where I want to be. I love it here. So this is where I'm going to stay. Oh, that head pressure that I was getting, I read through it here. The head pressure is from adrenaline and is very, very... Fuck, I don't think I did. I think I skipped a page. Rewind and see if I skipped a page, because I know it's in there. But the head pressure is from adrenaline, and it's very, very common amongst PTSD victims. But it really is, because your adrenaline, it comes from... I forgot what they're called. But there are these two parts in the back of the brain that... that's where your adrenaline comes from. And whenever you're having like a panic attack or something, all of that is coming from the back. Whereas normally you think up front. So when the adrenaline isn't there and the PTSD goes away, I shouldn't be having the head pressure and everything, which I don't now. I really only got it when I was going through the withdrawal and stuff. And it was weird. It's the weirdest feeling. It really does feel like... It feels like Shaquille O'Neal is like grabbing your head and like it's like trying to pop a basketball. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel like a headache. It's just pressure. So, I mean, it's not that bad. It's not like Shaquille's. It's just inside. It's just this very... It's not vague. It is vague. I can't explain it unless you felt it. But yeah, it definitely it makes you want to blow your fucking head off. Enough to want to do it with a shotgun shell, which is fucking retarded. I probably would have just ended up right back in the hospital. I forgot to... Did I mention that in the first part of this video? Like, that's how bad I wanted to go. I wanted to fucking blow my head off with a shotgun shell. Like, that's retarded. That's how bad I wanted it to go away. But I think I understand George Carlin's joke now. Towards where, like, if you remember, he did a joke that was very, very unlike any of his jokes. It was towards his death, and it was very out of nowhere. It was just during some set. He said, don't you just love that feeling when you take a hatchet to the brain or something, and you just get that you get that gust of nice, cool air right before the crippling pain sets in? I'm pretty sure that's what he was talking about there, George. I feel you, man. I feel you on that one. I mean, if not, then ignore me, but I'm pretty sure that's what that came from. I think he was feeling that fucking just stress and pressure, and because that really does seem like it would feel good. Just take a fucking axe, just get a nice cool breeze of air right before the pain sets in. You know what I'm saying? Oh, This is important. Breathe like you're sleeping. When people are trying to give you breathing exercises, especially while you're panicking, never works. Never fucking works. At least not for me. It just makes my heart rate increase and I get more tense, and it's just like it becomes a very very meticulous breathing. It becomes very like, okay, breathe in through your nose. Hold it for 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then then you exhale it. But sleeping next to, I still haven't talked about Tim. I still want to talk about Tim, who is my guy. Oh no, I did talk about Tim. Tim, sleeping next to Tim helped me a lot with my breathing, because I just realized because I just tried to copy his breathing when he was asleep, and that's what helps the most. Is because what you don't take into consideration when you're breathing is that time between the exhale and the inhale. When people are giving you breathing exercises, at least from my experience, they just tell you to exhale and then inhale again through your nose. That's where my problem was. Breathe like you're sleeping. Don't do the whole like, inhale, wait 8 seconds, breathe. And then you let it sit there for a little bit before you inhale again, because that's how sleeping people breathe. Don't ask me why, it's just how it is. You let it sit there for a second. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, that's how you're supposed to breathe. Don't listen to niggas who be trying to give you breathing exercises. Just breathe like a person who's asleep. That water fountain that I had out there reminded me of a Bruce Lee quote, which is to adapt like water. There was a water, I told you there was that, like, it wasn't a water fountain, it was a mini waterfall is what it was. And I would like fingerboard around it and like go under a little water and all that. It was really cool. But I like put my hands in it, and it reminded me immediately of this quote that Bruce Lee said a long time ago, obviously a long time ago, that water adapts, and that's how you need to be. Like, no matter how I put my hand in the waterfall, no matter what I did to it, it still remained on course. It still did its thing. It still made it to its destination. It didn't let me prevent it from doing its job. And so it's very important to be water. Act as water. Whatever life throws at you, whatever hurdle happens, just mold around it and continue down your path. Like, it's so important to do that. Be water. I also wrote down the embrace all 5 senses and the hot chocolate thing, which I already went over. Also, I think I've given enough. This is a thing. I can't remember. It's one of the psychiatrists that told me to this. May have been Dr. O'Connell, but I've given enough to the darkness. Because I've always felt like, because that's what a lot of my anxiety comes from. Is a lot of my anxiety comes from I feel like I'm avoiding things. I feel like I'm avoiding and procrastinating. So I always try to face everything head on. So the last like month leading up to here, I would start my morning by like putting on like really scary music, like Shroud by Tech Nine, or Lacrimosa by Tech Nine, and I would just turn off all the lights in the bathroom, and I would just sit there looking in the mirror, even though it's too dark to see anything. And I would just, this started with Lost. If those who have watched Lost, in the first episode, Jack tells, I think he's talking to Kate, whoever he's sewing up, they ask how does he do it, and he says, I let the fear in, I give the fear time to do its thing, and after it's done, then I get to work. So that's what I've been doing, which I've only recently learned is working against me. It's just I work on, I would go in the bathroom and I would just, like I said, I'd put on this scary ass music and I'd do everything I could to let all the scariest shit in as possible. And I would just tell the universe, like, whatever you got for me, do it now. Like, because I'm going to start my day otherwise. Like, whatever, I'd wait for the whole song to play through. Again, either Lacrimosa or Shroud. And I would just let the whole fucking thing just play through. And in the darkness, and I would tell the universe, just whatever you're going to do to me, whatever scary shit you got for me, here's your chance. And otherwise, I'm living my day. Thing is, it only really only worked once, like the first time I did it. After that, it seemed to just start my day out really bad. So they told me not to do that anymore. So I'm not gonna do that anymore. Um, but yeah, I still have just that feeling of like, um, all of my, wait, what was I even reading? Yeah, I've been in the darkness for too long. Like I've given enough of myself to the darkness, and now it's time to do the same to the light. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna, instead of listening to like scary shit, I'm gonna listen to the Gates mix plate. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna listen to Need More Angels. I'm gonna listen to What's Next. It's a song. I'm gonna listen to. I'm gonna go back and listen to shit that I listened to as a kid when I first got into music. Aaron Carter. I'm gonna go back and fuck that. Hell yeah, I'm gonna go back and. Do you guys remember Aaron Carter? He was the original Justin Bieber. That's something you probably don't know about me. I was an Aaron Carter fan. I was a big Aaron Carter fan before I found it. Before I knew that there was a thing called hip hop, and before I knew that there was a music that was all about rhyming and stuff. I had two. I had Aaron Carter's first two albums. If it was, assuming they were his first two, I know I still have them somewhere actually. It was Oh Aaron and Aaron's Party. There may have been one before that, I don't know. But those were my introductions to music. Period. Was just Aaron Carter, and he was like the original Justin Bieber. So that's kind of embarrassing to admit, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna go back and I'm just gonna listen to all that stuff because it's just there's no way for it to be scary. It's just childhood. It's at the end of the day, it's nostalgia. It'll be cool to hear those songs again and hear those like tunes again that like were the very first tunes that like got me moving and got me like I wanted to hear the song. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and then lastly, here it says at the bottom, if I lose faith in any of the above, anything I've just mentioned, it's the adrenaline talking, and just wait it out. Like I said, the light is always there. If I lose faith in anything I just said, that's the adrenaline and anxiety and fear talking, and don't let it guide me because it's never done anything good to me. The Ghetto Boys have a song called, My Mind Playing Tricks on Me. It's the same thing, and it teaches you very well. Like if you let that adrenaline and you let that fear run you, it's never a good outcome. Wait for it to go away before you act. So yeah, like I said, if I lose faith in any of the above, it's that talking, and it's not me changing my mind or something. But now I have something that I really wanted to talk about, and if you've made it this far, awesome. Because yeah, so let's start the next video. If I can figure out where the fuck my cursor is.